Hey guys, welcome back, Jim and Doug show, first show of 2019. Happy New
Yes.
Year, partner.
Happy New Year.
Happy Wild Card Weekend.
Yes, for sure. So a nice playoff edition.
Yep.
Lot to get to.
All right, so let's start with the NFL. Let's start with the games today. Good games. I mean, all tough to pick. So let's get right on it. Let's start with Indy and Houston. Right, first game today.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Houston. A lot of people are real high on Andrew Luck, how he's been playing, and they've been playing good football. It's a very evenly matched game. You know, two teams they tied this year, and Indy won a close one, I think by 3 earlier in the year. So it's very tough to kind of differentiate the teams. In this case, you know, I'll go with the home team. I think Houston's been playing better football. They seem like they're on a mission since they started out 0-3. So I'm gonna go with Houston. I think they win by like a touchdown.
All right. Well, listen, we've been talking all season, and I'm a big Andrew Luck fan and so forth, and I hate to go against them, but they're on the road. They haven't, overly impressed. They've struggled a little bit against the Jets and pulled it out and so forth.
Yep.
And I'm starting to become a believer in this kid Watson, actually.
Yeah.
I wasn't a big fan of his, and right when they started out 0-3, I said they're going in the wrong direction, and they've been on quite a roll since then. This is going to be a close game, and Luck's not going to leave anything on the table. I'm not going to be surprised if they win, but I'm going to go with Houston as well. So, they're home.
To Houston. Yeah, they're home. They're home. That's the big factor for me. If it is a division game like that, when two teams are very evenly matched, I'll stick with the team that's going to stay at home.
Yeah, it should be a good game. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game too. I don't think much of the Colts defense, but Luck's going to put up some points. And as much as I'm pulling for Andrew Luck, I think Houston moves on. That's just my thought.
Okay.
So let's go to tonight's game. This is probably, I think, the toughest game to pick. Seattle at Dallas, and Russell Wilson in prime time. We know he shines, and if this was reversed, I think if Dallas was in Seattle, that it'd be a lock for the Seahawks. It's tough for a team to beat Seattle in Seattle. But I'm going to take Dallas tonight, and like I said, I think Ezekiel will have a big game. I think that's what could cost Dallas is Dak Prescott. He hasn't shown up in really in big games, and they're playing well. And I really, I told you this before. I'm a big Russell Wilson fan, and I think he's awesome. And they've shown they could win. This is a tough one, and I'm going to pick Dallas, probably against my best wishes. But I hate to just pick it because they're home. But I think with Elliott and maybe Prescott shows up and plays a stellar game. Seattle's a tough team to beat, but I'm going to go with Dallas.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go opposite here. For me, it's kind of like the last game, very evenly matched teams. Teams that rely on the run game heavily. They have mobile quarterbacks that are going to make plays outside the pocket and this and that. I love the way Dallas's defense has been playing. I know that they kind of had a little hiccup against the Giants, but I don't think that they had all their starters in, and they weren't showing everything they could show. So I won't really put much credence into that. But
you're liking Seattle here?
But I like Seattle. I think the real difference is just going to be Russell Wilson, the guy who's been there and won before, and Dak Prescott, he's been there once but hasn't won. And I just have a hard time betting against Russell Wilson in these situations, kind of. Unless their team's overmatched, I'm always going to really pick him. I don't like the Cowboys anyway, so that kind of helps me to nudge towards the other side. But I'm going to go with Seattle. I think they win. I actually think Seattle will win by a solid 10 points. I think.
By 10 points. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
like I said, I don't like to bet against Russell Wilson too, but I think Dallas having the home field in this one.
They're not that good a home team though. They're not that good at home.
Yeah, I know they haven't. They got beat on.
They got beat by
at home.
Tennessee, a couple tough games at home. So that's not a big factor for me at least. So Sunday's game. First game is 1 o'clock. It is Baltimore hosting LA Chargers. So I'll let you start on that one.
Okay, and here I think this may be even tougher than the other game actually, because you know my feelings on Rivers. He puts up big numbers and so forth, and you know I hate to go with all of the home teams on Wild Card Saturday, and against my better judgment, but I think I'm going to take the Chargers on this one. I think that's going to be the one road team that wins tonight. And, I could hang myself on Monday if I picked Phillip Rivers and lost. But I'm going to take the Chargers in this game. Although I do like Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's playing outrageously good, and I'm on the fence with this one, to be quite honest with you, but I'm going to take it because, like I said, I don't think all four home teams could win. One of the road teams has got to win, and I'm going to take the Chargers here. Not that I think they're going anywhere after that, because it's going to be a big game, and Rivers doesn't show up in big games. But I'm going to take the Chargers over Baltimore. That's my upset of the weekend.
Okay. So this
Give
game,
me your thoughts on that.
The first two games were about 1 point spreads, so you can tell that they're very evenly matched. This game, I was surprised to see Baltimore favored by 2.5. I know Baltimore handled them a couple weeks ago pretty easily. Lamar Jackson had a nice game, and their defense really kind of shut down the Chargers. So that really, I feel like they're kind of begging you to pick the Ravens here, because they're like, oh, if they went out to LA and beat them, what are they going to do to them at home? So I'm going to go the opposite. I'm going to go with you. I think the Chargers are going to be able to – they have a good defense, the Chargers. They're going to be able to kind of zero in on Lamar Jackson. You know, his game is really predicated all on the run. He had the most run attempts for a QB in one season, and he only started like 10 games, I think, or 8 games. So the fact that, he's running so much, I think the Chargers are going to be able to finally key in on that and stop it. I think that they'll be able to kind of keep them down low enough for Phillip Rivers to come up big and put up a few points and kind of edge it out. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. I don't think you're going to see a lot of points. I think Chargers may pull this one out like 16-10, something like that. So that's my pick for this.
All right, and I don't think Rivers is going to be the deciding factor. I think their defense, like you said, I think they're underrated, and I think they're going to have a good game plan to shut down. I don't think Jackson's going to run for 150 yards, and you're right. You got to throw the ball in the NFL to win.
You do. That's what we always see in the playoffs. So that's why I think they'll kind of be limited. And Rivers, I just think Baltimore's defense is tough as nails. Tough to score on them. I think Rivers will put up enough points to win. That's all I'll say.
All right, so you're looking for a low-scoring game here.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that last one. Bears are hosting Philly. Bears are favored by 5.5.
Yep.
I'll take this one first. I think this is my favorite pick. I think the Bears are going to beat the Eagles pretty handily. Maybe it's my Giants fan bias showing, but I really like Chicago. I actually think Chicago has a good chance to go to the Super Bowl. I like them a lot. I like their defense. I like the way they their offense runs. Nagy calls a good game. They don't put too much on Trubisky's shoulders. I get a lot of 07 Giants vibes from them. So I think that they're going to be able to control the game with their clock. They can throw when they have to because Philly's secondary is pretty much guys that are off the street at this point, coming off the street at this point. So, they're going to be able to pick up whatever they want. And Foles kind of has been able to do what he wants against Houston and L.A., those teams, Washington, but those teams don't have defenses like Chicago does. LA's defense is lackluster at this point, besides Donald and their front line, but their secondary has been very lackluster. And Houston, their defense is very, mediocre as well. This is not Chicago's defense. that they're facing. That's not Chicago's defense that they were facing. So I don't think Foles is going to have the crazy numbers that he's been putting up the past few weeks. I think their point total is going to go down a little bit, and I think the Bears are going to be able to control the clock and win this game. I see like a 26-10 type of game.
Okay. Well, listen. I don't think this is an easy game either, and like I said, it's hard to pick against Foles the way he shined in the playoffs and so forth. But do I still think he's an elite quarterback in this league? No. Do I think he rises to the occasion? Absolutely. And my problem with the Bears is, 1 week they look like world beaters, the next week, they look mediocre, and we're putting a lot on the shoulders of this kid Trubisky. I mean, I know he's starting to play much, much better than he did in the beginning of the season. And I'm going to go with the Bears, too. I think they're home, and then they're tough to beat at home. But I don't think Philadelphia has shown me enough consistency all year, whether it was Wentz or Foles. So I think this is going to be a pretty tight game. I think it's going to be a pretty tight game, but I think, like I said, with Mack on the defense there, and the way the inconsistency of Philadelphia all season, I'm going to have to go with the home team and take the Bears in this one too.
Bears. All right. So we actually agreed on most of the games. I think the only one we differed on was Seahawks and Cowboys, but I'll lay out. There's a way for any of those 8 teams to win. I kind of have laid out the case for each. Philly can win if they can kind of solve that Chicago defense a little better, and keep the ball in their hands if they get their run game going, which you can run on the Bears. That's the one thing you can do. You can run on them. If you're fundamentally sound, you can. So there's room for any of these. All these games are tight spreads. So there's really we're in for 4 good games, I believe.
Yeah, I think the biggest spread is Philadelphia at Chicago.
Yep.
I think the Bears are given 6 or 6.5. Something. Yeah. But we're just going for the wins, and like I said, we only disagree on one game, and I hope I don't regret it, because I think Seattle, they have a much better running game than people give them credit for. This kid Carson's really stepped it up,
yep.
And that takes a little bit of pressure off Russell Wilson, but I still think Dallas at home, and I think, like I said, I think Elliott's going to finally break out. He hasn't had a super stellar season. What he did his rookie year kind of thing. But I'm going to have to take them at home, and like I said, I may regret it, but I'll give Phillip Rivers this one shot, and I won't pick him again if I eat crow on this one. Look at that.
We'll see what he does. That's definitely a tough order going into Baltimore. So see how they do.
No reason to look forward to next week, because the results of this game will determine who plays where. So we'll pick that up again.
Yeah.
And but this is Wild Card Weekend. It's awesome. 16 weeks are in the books, and we're getting down to the wire. It's an exciting time if you're an NFL fan.
Absolutely, gotta love that.
So listen. Also, there's a big game on Monday night. We cannot bypass this. So Clemson, Alabama. I know the line is Alabama's given 5. I think it's going to be either a 2-3-point game either way. But if I had to pick, like I said, it's almost impossible for me to vote against Nick Saban. I can't get myself to do it, even though Sweeney's proven he could win, he could beat him. But I can't see him beating him again. I think this is too important to Nick Saban, and I think Tua. I think he's healthy. And they got a lot of players on both sides of the ball. And, you're asking a freshman quarterback at Clemson to beat the best team in college football, maybe in the past 15 years. And that's a lot to ask of a freshman, even though he tore Notre Dame apart. It's going to be a close game, but I can't see Alabama leaving this one on the table. But I certainly wouldn't give 5 or 6 points to Clemson.
That's what I was going to say. The spread's 6 right now, so I would take Clemson with 6, just because Clemson. I mean, they show the ability that they can put up points with anybody. I know we're talking about Alabama defense, so that's a different story. But they right now, until they actually play them, we'll never know. And they've showed the ability to put up a lot of points. And that Notre Dame defense was not a bad defense. They were a good defense this entire season, and they shut down some really good offenses. In Michigan and teams like that, they really just shut them down. So,
Who's going to win the game?
I think if Bama wins, I think they win by 3. And I think it could go into overtime.
Oh, that would be exciting as hell,
Yeah.
actually. You know?
I would like to see that. So I think that's what's going to happen, actually. So I'm going to go.
You know why I'm more leaning toward Alabama, not just the Nick Saban factor. You know, I watched them play LSU, which was a real good football team at the time, and their defense just shut them out. They just shut them down. And
they did.
And look, I mean, LSU is a good football team. They finally knocked off these, UCF, which, they're trying to say they can compete with the big boys. Well, we found out on New Year's Day they can't. And I was really impressed with the way Alabama's defense. They didn't need Tua to come up as big as he did, and but their defense is just as good as their offense. And look, these are the two best teams in college football. This is the game of the year. It's the way it should be. And all the Georgia fans that were complaining that they should have been the fourth team in there, well, they got taken apart on New Year's Day by Texas too.
I don't know how motivated they were though.
Why not? If you want to show people that you had it, but they got blown out. They got blown out by Texas.
They did.
Blown out.
Well, they only lost by 7.
Let's take that UCF thing off the table, right? Can we?
Oh yeah.
I mean.
Oh yeah. And I was never pounding the table for them. I would have
let them play a season in the SEC and see if they win 26 straight games.
Yeah. Well, I would say they would hold their own. I don't think they would win like that, but they were a good team. I just don't think they were playoff caliber.
No, certainly not at the Alabama Clemson level. Absolutely not. And as we found out, they weren't against.
Definitely not.
So.
Not.
But good stuff. That's excellent stuff. And listen, while we're on the path of football here, a few weeks ago we had Luke Whippler on, starting left tackle at St. Joe's, Ohio State commit. It was a great interview, great kid.
Yes.
So it came out yesterday. They had the Under Armour top 50 future players for the class of 2020 in high school.
He's on there?
Number 2 in the camp.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Congrats, Luke, for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, he played a lot of center. Right? We talked about it, and he said he was going to move inside from the left tackle spot. But very impressive. You guys can look that up and check it out. But he had just a monster camp, and they said, he could have been the number 1 player in that camp. This one other kid had some monster camp too, but 2 out of 50 on that kind of stage.
Pretty good.
How impressive is that?
Very, very impressive. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Extremely impressive. So congrats to him.
Yeah. So.
Anything else you want to touch on?
Go ahead, Doug.
What else do you want to touch on?
Well, like I said, I guess we're getting down to the wire on this Major League Baseball thing. What do you think of this Tulowitzki signing by the Yankees, and what impact it's going to have on the Machado signing?
Well, I don't think it has anything to do with Machado, actually. I think they want them both. I think Tulo, the thing with him was they just, I think, they don't really know if they're getting Machado, or maybe they do, I don't know, but it's kind of up in the air. So he's willing to come to the team for pretty much a minimum salary. It's really no risk, kind of a no risk, high reward thing. If he regains his old form, that's great. That's kind of just gravy at that point. If he doesn't, then you didn't pay him anything. And there's still room for Machado. Machado could play third. Machado could play whatever he was going to play. So I think I don't think it has much of an impact on Machado. I think it's kind of just like a security. So let's get this guy in here just in case Machado doesn't come. Take some money in Chicago or Philly. Then at least we got Tulo. He can fill until Didi gets back.
I know. The only problem I have with it, and I agree, I don't think it's the driving factor that means that they lost Machado in this bidding war with Chicago, because Chicago's making a hard line to get him, and I just don't know if Tulowitzki's certainly not the player he once was. I think we both know that. He's been injured. He's only played in 60 games over the past couple of seasons. But, what perplexes me, I mean, I know they could put Machado at third. Are they really giving up on this Andujar? It's driving me crazy. The kid was almost Rookie of the Year, but they think he's got two left hands in the field? I don't think he's that bad. I've seen worse third basemen.
Yeah, no, he's a rookie. I'm not sure. I don't know what their deal is with him. I mean, I just think Brian Cashman really likes Machado. I don't think it's really an indictment on Andujar. I think obviously Machado's a better player. Andujar's a rookie, and we're trying to win a championship here, and I guess that they see little things that could cost us in his fielding, which it could be. But I hate to see them give up on a rookie like that, and obviously if we weren't really on the cusp of a championship right now, I don't think they would make that move.
Well, if they're going to sign Machado, that means they're going to give up on Andujar, or they're going to ship him and do something else. But
either that or move him to first or something like that. They were talking about that, so it could be that or DH or anything like that. They might still like his bat, or maybe see him at potential at a different position, or trade him for pitching.
Yeah, I guess, but like I said, I agree. I don't think the Tulowitzki sign is indicative that they're not going to sign Machado, but the money these guys are asking for, and I still think there's a good chance that Bryce Harper ends up back in Washington. I knew the Yankees had.
Yeah, I agree with you.
They had a big desire to get him, and I don't know what cooled off on it, but they don't seem to be pursuing him certainly as hard as they are for Machado. I mean, maybe they think they're all set. Maybe they think Hicks is in center is the stud, and I mean, I don't know. Do you get rid of Stanton? I mean, I don't.
He's staying. He's staying. I think. I don't think anyone really wants Stanton's contract. To be honest.
I know. Compared to what they're going to pay these guys, his contract is.
We'll see what they get. I don't know. I'm not sure what they're going to get, those guys. Let's see what they get. But I think. I think you're going to see Stanton in left field more this year. So I don't think they feel like Hicks, Judge, Stanton in the outfield is what it might be for a while. So I think you're going to see Stanton in the outfield more.
Yeah, and like I said, I think obviously Judge is a fixture. He's not going anywhere, but I'm just a little surprised they weren't making more for a bit of Harper. I thought that he was on their radar a few years ago, but you could be right. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised. Like I said, I still don't think Machado is the right fit for New York. I just don't like his attitude enough to give him that kind of money. But they're going to give him they're going to match whatever anybody else gives him. I mean, the Yankees have more money than anybody. So
yeah, but that's true. I think they'll match it. I mean, they maybe not match it, but bring it close enough where everyone says that his preference is to come to New York. So we'll see if that's really true.
This has all got to work out in the next week or two. I mean, spring training, believe it or not, isn't that far off. I mean,
I think we'll see. I think in the next week we'll see him sign at least. I don't know about Harper, but we'll see him.
All right. Well, we'll stay tuned with that in the meantime. Listen, we'll just touch real quick on the NBA. It seems wide open, and I got to tell you, I wasn't a big buyer of this Antetokounmpo in Milwaukee.
Oh, he's phenomenal.
He is absolutely phenomenal. I know they're talking like Harden's got the MVP locked up. What about this guy? I mean,
those guys are 1-2, I think. Giannis is he's out of this world, this guy. You see him do things that no other, like LeBron, Durant, you don't see anybody make plays like him. And he's kind of, every year he's kind of added to his game a little bit. And I remember he was a rookie, and they showed his potential, but he never really met it. So it's been fun to watch him kind of add to his game. Now he can shoot the three. He handles the ball. Obviously, he's been for a couple of years now. But Harden's having a historical year.
He's certainly having a historical couple of weeks. There's no doubt about that. I mean, not that I think I don't think he can carry that team. I'm not sure where Chris Paul is. He doesn't seem to be in the picture right now. But
it's hurt, yeah.
Yeah, and that's gonna cost him any shot at winning the title. I mean,
he'll be back. He'll be back. I think it's like a month long injury, so he'll be back in. So that would be tough if they didn't have him. Obviously, you saw what happened last year when he got hurt. But Harden is having it. just him handling the ball and kind of running everything, he's having an amazing year. Obviously, his numbers are going to go down when Paul comes back, but just the way he's playing right now, it's unmatched. He's really playing well.
I agree, but like I said, I've really become a buyer of this Giannis because I didn't realize who sees Milwaukee play, right? Nobody, right?
Yeah.
I don't watch him that often, but I watch the highlights, and this kid's lighting it up. But I've become real impressed with him, and like I said, LeBron getting hurt shows you just like what the Lakers are without him. So they're not going anywhere. And I agree that the Warriors. I don't know why they seem so vulnerable. They still got the same starting cast and so forth, but
I think they're a little bored. I think they're a little bored. I don't think that. I think they're kind of just waiting to turn it on in the playoffs. They're kind of just going through the motions right now. They're gonna insert Cousins into the mix soon, which is gonna be fun to see. So we'll see how that goes. But it's you can't really make a judgment on them until the playoffs. You know how they'll kind of be. So.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem like a foregone lock like we thought in the beginning of the season because of the way Milwaukee and Toronto and all these other teams are playing. So NBA's actually I'm more excited about the NBA this season than I've been in years. So we'll see how that goes.
It's been interesting. It's been very, 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 very interesting. So we'll see what happens in that.
All right, so listen, I just wanted to wish a happy 2019 to everybody. And again, let me give a quick shout-out to our sponsors, Manchester Toyota of Connecticut and Harley-Davidson of Utica, of course. They've been with us all season. And our new sponsor, DeFilippi's Bakery up in Monticello. Looking forward to another good year with them being our sponsors and so forth. And I'm looking forward to a good season. We may change our format a little bit and add some more guests and other guest hosts and so forth when one of us can't make it and so forth. So looking forward to it. It was a good 2018, partner. Thanks for everything.
Had a lot of fun. 2019, wishing everybody a happy and healthy new year. And we'll check back in.
Very good.
All right.
Enjoy Wild Card Weekend.
All right. You too.
Bye.